Hi and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we'll talk about the Enerbyti. Enerbyti. Anyways, it is a lithium iron phosphate 12 volt 100 amp hours lithium iron phosphate deep cycle battery. In this video we'll talk about this battery, we'll talk about the build quality, we'll talk about the specifications, and we'll talk about the capacity. And as well, we'll take it apart and see what's inside. So let's get started with this stuff, and if you have any questions about this type of battery, I saw they selling it for insane $188 US. $188 US at the moment, with special offering, I guess. This is, people would say, dirty cheap. It is insane. Let's see if this battery is up to the game. So since I last time really relied on Amazon and their descriptions, and sometimes the seller, manufacturer, or whoever puts the ad on the description in for the products, they might be not 100% correct and accurate with the size. So I want to measure it. So that means, oh, I'll do it this way, the other way around. I hope you can still see it. So from this side, it is 13.5 almost, a little bit less. It is 7.5-ish depth, and we do have almost 8.5, maybe a little less, in height. So those are the dimensions which I measured, and those are the dimensions they put in the description. So this battery, we'll take a closer look before we do anything else with it. So that means it is a standard size battery in this plastic housing. It has this nylon strap here on top which you can take off. It does come with the M8 bolts, washer and lock washer. When you take a closer look at the terminals, it does have this epoxy outside, and this one has a golden or brass ring. It's golden, but the color is golden. This is pretty cool. The negative as well, pretty much the same, but it's color coded. It also has the negative and the positive sign on top. Everything you see here, those are stickers. It is a black housing. That's the front side. So, by the way, it comes in a cardboard box. It was pretty good stored, pretty good saved as well. There was a little plastic cap on the terminals itself. The bolts were in a little package, so that's what it is. And when you look at it, we have the Enerbyti. That's what I call it. I hope the pronunciation is correct. If not, please correct me. That's the manufacturer. That's the seller of this one. Maybe it's relabeled. I'm not aware of that. We have the website down here. We do have some certifications down here, at least a couple. Then we have on top the sticker as well, representing the brand, 12 volt and the 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. On the side, there's nothing. On the back, there's more interesting stuff. So, and I would say this is worth mentioning and worth looking at. So we do have battery pack main parameters, which means nominal voltage. We have the nominal capacity, of course the watt hours, charge voltage, which is good that they put it on here. We do see the charge current, 100 amp max, and the standard max charge. Interesting. So yeah, the charge current is 100 amp hour max, and then they repeat themselves. Standard and max charge. Well, yeah, standard is 50, they claim, and 100 is the max. Yeah, they repeat it here. Anyways, continuous peak discharge. Okay, continuously it's 100 amp hours. Yeah, yeah, there's the dash missing here in between to separate them, but the continuous discharge is 100 amp hour. Oh, wow, okay. And the peak will be 200 amp hours. I have to see if I can do that. Then we have the operating temperature, which is charging between 0 Celsius and 45 Celsius. Discharge is minus 20 Celsius to plus 60 Celsius. Let's take a closer look on the manual, which I received via PDF. So there was no manual included. I requested it and received a PDF, which we'll take a look into it right now. All right, as mentioned, I received a PDF, and here you can see the manual, PDF, which I'm opening really quick. Just want to go through it really quick. So we see Enerbyti, and then I guess also Chinese symbols up here. But it is in English mainly. I did feel like it was a nice manual. I felt like it was familiar with something, but let's go through it. the most important, interesting parts are definitely here on the first page: charging, discharging, charging voltage, as well as overcharge disconnect, as well as low voltage disconnect. So those are the important ones. And about the disconnect, you will see later, it was definitely lower before it disconnected. But you will see that in the capacity test. I did it already. You'll see it in a second. So anyway, they talk about solar panels, recommended power, which I guess that's a typo with the C300W. We have a controller, which they call it. Here we can see recommended charging is 0.2 C, so 20 amps for this battery. The battery will be fully charged in around 5 hours capacity. The next page is talking about charging voltage a little bit more, but we saw it already in the table before, which we should reference to, I would say. I don't know why they talk about alternator generator here. We don't have that. We can see that there is a series and parallel connection. Which, yeah, space is missing, but that's minor thingies, you know. So what we can see in this manual, I just realized I didn't look at that before, but connect in series, and then it's adding up to 48 volts, and then connect in series, it's adding up, remaining 12 volt, but it's adding up the amp hours. One is the parallel connection of those. Can you see which one it is? Anyway, they explain a couple things. That's nice, that's fine, so not too bad. It's, for me, not very helpful, but it does the job in terms of charging and discharging. I feel like that's very important values to have, even though lithium iron phosphate in the meantime is pretty standard so far. But one thing is pretty funny. Let me show you. I think there is a possibility this battery is similarly built where the Power Queen is built when I look at this manual. Anyways, that's the specification and also the manual we have here. Let's jump into the capacity test and see what we can do with this. All right, for the capacity test, I just double checked. We charged up the battery. The battery is at 100%, and you can see we do have the battery, we do have the shunt over here, and then we have underneath the inverter, which is currently off, so that's good. And what I'll do is I'll charge another battery, so we try to achieve, as always, a 0.2 C rate. Usually it's a little bit more, so let's see how much we get here, and I'll try to get you as close as possible. So right now, since I did charge it, you can see it's dropping the voltage a little bit. Yeah, we'll use the typical LiFePO4 20 amp battery charger, as you can see here. And we'll just kick it on. We'll start charging another battery, so we're not wasting too much energy. And that means we're at 100%. We do have 14.24 volts at the moment. Now it's ramping up. I hope you can see it. The colors are not true here, which is not a problem at the moment. So you get the idea. We are at 24.6 amps. We'll see, first of all, how long it takes. Second off, if we can achieve the 100 amp hour. That's the big question. So we have here the total amperage here in the bottom left. That's the interesting number at the end we want to see, and we want to compare and see. Yeah, we did already pass the 100 amp hours. I think that's pretty impressive and really nice to see with this budget-friendly battery. That's really, really good. I'm really curious now to see what's inside. Okay, nice. Look at that. 104.39. Okay, 104 amp hours. I think that is a great value. It's more than 100, so it did pass. Everything above 100 is a pass. The more we have, the nicer it is, right? That gives a little longer life of the battery, I would say, in the long run. So you might have also seen that the cutoff was less than 10.8, as it described in the manual. Low voltage disconnect was 10.8 volts. I think it was a little less, but it was a pretty quick drop. So let's just call it a wrap. It did pass, which is good, nice. And I want to see what's actually inside. Do we have prismatic cells or do we have other cells? or something new. That would be awesome. So anyways, we'll go ahead, take it apart, take a look at it. Quick disclosure, don't do this at home because it smells and can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So keep that in mind. So you can see we do have some holes here. Additionally, we have strong glue around the edges. So it was kind of more difficult to take off, but the bolts I was able to take out easy, but everything else was more difficult. So for the terminals, we do have a pair of 9-gauge wires, so 2 of them. Same for positive. And you can see they go right into the BMS here. Let me give you a better look. There we go. I hope you can see it better now. Here we have the BMS. I tried to get the entire pack out to see, because I heard it moving already inside, which was quite interesting. Not sure why that was, but I guess it's not glued in. It has on the sides this tape. So yeah, let me take it out. Take this off quickly without damaging it. The reason why I'm not ripping it apart is I want to use it later again if possible. So I don't want to break it. Oh, that's interesting. I think I see it already. So we do, oh god. So I think here from the side you might be able to see it better. That's what you're dealing with. 2 packs. There is a QR code. I'll try to scan it. At least take a picture of it. Okay, so we're dealing with a JBD ZP4SO14-T-S version 1.1. It says 100 amp hour. So I guess that's what you're dealing with here. As you can see from this side, what's going on, quite interesting. The temperature switch is just laying on top here. I can give you a better view on this side, most likely. Here we are. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. All right, that's definitely not what I expected. I thought it might be prismatic cells, but it didn't say anything in the description. So, still an option, still something manufacturers can do, of course. I will later put everything nicely together. For now, I just want to do this. I want to do a test with the heat gun as well as an ice pack and see what's happening. As you know, this is a switch, so we'll see how it will react. It says 70 degrees, so it should be the hot, cold. I don't see anything else here going down except for our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, except for our BMS connection. As you saw, there we have bus bars here on this side as well here for both packs. And when you look, I think that's something you want to see maybe, when you look at those solder points, here the solder points, I don't know if you can see it. This one looks messy, this one looks also a little messy, and this is okay. Since there shouldn't be any movement, okay, but I like to have nicer solder points, and when this is getting hot, who knows. All right, so let's see. I have to, first of all, turn it on. There we go. Turn it off. Plugging it in. Plugging it in. Turning on. All right, and I hope you can see it in the corner. There it's charging. The switch is here accessible on the side. Oh, you can barely see it. Let me see if I can get it closer here. Oh, there it is already. I don't know if you saw it. Since I had my finger almost in the way, it did stop. Feels hot. Let's cool it down a little bit. And then we'll test the cold. Need to move this over, it's too difficult to reach. Oh, but it's charging again. Let's see if there's any cold cutoff with this switch, if that works. Because it's supposed to be a... Doesn't look like, or... Well, it doesn't look like that it bothers at all with the cold charging cutoff. I believe it's 60 degrees Celsius. This can operate. The switch says on it up to 70. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so I tested it. My fingers are froze. They froze already, but the switch didn't bother at all. Since it already said heat 70 degree, I didn't expect this to happen at all. But it's a bummer because it's so close. You know, there's probably, it's the same BMS as so many others, and you can just have one little temp sensor and it's added value. Anyways, I think that's good. We saw it has heat cutoff, at least for the operating temperature. So that's good. That's great. This is also as advertised. So it's nice to see when something's on a homepage that this is also actually happening and working. So I'll take those off. Those off. Perfect. Let's take a closer look on the BMS again. I think that's something I have not done yet. So what I like that it's, of course, a JBD one. It's a known brand so far. I do not like that it just glued it on here. I don't know if you can see that up there, but it's just glued in between. I can rip it off. I don't want to. It doesn't make sense. And then they have those added foam pads here. I'm not sure why this one is here, actually. I do not see how it's soldered underneath. Oh, it's a screw, actually. Oh, they screwed in here. Yeah. They screwed in the negative wires, which are also on this side. 9-gauge wire here. 2 9-gauge, 2 9-gauge, and here 2 9-gauge. Yeah, everything else pretty standard. There's nothing crazy to it, I feel like. It's the heating sink here. You could use some bolts on the other battery from LiFePO4, for example. They had some plastic caps underneath where it screws at least in. This one is just glued on, so be careful with taking it apart. What I did here, don't do that actually. And then we have a lot of those pads down here to keep everything in place and don't have it moving around. So that's something which is a quite interesting design. This selected, it works. I passed the capacity test, so that's great. That's all there is to this disassemble. I'd say default housing, except I've not seen those bolts. And oh yeah, the gasket here on the side, the white one, that's the gasket they have in here. So I guess also to keep it watertight, water seal, that's great to see as well. Okay, that's it. I hope you get a good understanding of this battery. So not only this battery does have cylindric cells, not prismatic, cylindric. So they have a different setup. It is heavier compared to one of the other batteries I was testing recently, but it's still one of those standard battery sizes you see and you can buy. And with this offer at the moment, as of today, $188, this is insane. And the capacity is there. Sometimes those cylindric cells do have a higher amperage rating in discharging versus the prismatic cells. That's possible. So that explains also a higher discharge rate. It's at up to 200 amp discharge, max 3 seconds, not continuous, continuous 100. So I think that's something you should keep in mind. It's a pretty basic battery. If you just want to build maybe a pack of 4 48 volts, or you just want to have 400 amp hours, really depending on your use case, or just you want to have 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, it's a insane deal at the moment. So I hope this deal will remain a little longer than just today. It did pass the capacity test, that's no problem. It doesn't have any smart or any other functions. The soldering they could have done a little bit more thoroughly, I feel like, at least when I saw it inside of the battery, but that's something, you know, it doesn't have a cold temp cutoff if that's something you're looking for. You know, all those little gimmicks will add up to the price, of course, really depending on your use case. If you just have it in a garage at your home or something, you want to build a little pack, or you want to put it in your camper van where it is usually heated and never going below 0, or when you're not using the battery at all, so then it doesn't matter. Or you have a little heated section, or you even slap some heat pads on it, and call it a day. Hey, this price is really competitive right now, so that's why I'm saying it so many times. Apologies for that. Anyways, if you like that stuff, if you want to see something different, if I should take it even more apart, let me know. My goal is always to put it back together afterwards to use it, because I don't want to throw it away. You know, especially those days, you don't want to throw everything away which is almost brand new. And it has really worked well so far for me, so I want to continue using it. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to see something different, what you think about this battery, if you rather buy cheap versus having all those features built in. There are ways to put it afterwards on it, you know, like those heating pads you can slap on. You can have a smart shunt connected, all those kind of things, which might resolve and you have a bigger setup, bigger picture and plan. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Oh, hit and smash the like and subscribe button. That would be really cool and would mean a lot to me. Now I say thanks for watching. Cheers!